Hi, and welcome to a Drafthouse Diary for Wednesday, June 5th, 2024, when I came out here to the Alamo Drafthouse at Littleton's Aspen Grove to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This movie is in an interesting position relative to all the many other Planet of the Apes movies across the decades. On the one hand, it is very solidly a sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes, what I think of as that 21st century Planet of the Apes cycle. But it also fits in thematically, but also to some extent in terms of continuity, not only with those movies, but also with the original Planet of the Apes from 1968. In a very brief but very effective text prologue, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes establishes the fact that it is set, it says, many generations after the events of those three prior movies. And the filmmaking recognizes that it is suspended in this interesting place, and it makes the most of that. Everything fits very naturally as an outgrowth of what we see in War for the Planet of the Apes and those other recent movies. But also, we get bits of visual vocabulary and design elements that are clearly referencing and pulling things back from that 1968 movie. We even get bits of Jerry Goldsmith's original score from 1968. And it's a little bit eerie, but also very, very affecting to get those bits of music come up in this movie. They slowly become recognizable, and it's a fascinating way to join these together. The story is, for at least the first two-thirds, maybe three-quarters, a very capable, very competent combination of a coming-of-age story and an adventure story. Very much in the classic YA formula. Wouldn't be surprised to see this same kind of story in a YA novel or a movie adaptation of a YA novel. And that's a popular formula because it works. It puts together a combination of stakes, a combination of goals that are very compelling. We have a character who has an important high-stakes mission, but at the same time they're a young person, so they are still trying to figure out who they are, still trying to forge an identity. And this mission that they're on gives them an opportunity to forge that identity in a high-stakes crucible that's interesting to watch. In the last part of this movie, we get an expansion of the world, we get a change in the stakes, we get some interesting shifts in point of view, and in general, a good build to that final act and that final resolution that we're all looking for. So I was very happy with the story, very engaging. Another note about the visuals, of course, lots of this movie was CGI. All of the ape characters, of course, CGI. Lots of the rest of the movie, CGI. All of that was done very well. There were a few scenes, a few shots in which there was something not quite right about how an ape character moved or how something else fit together with the background. And that distracted me a bit, but the reason it was distracting was because it was so seamless and so effective for the vast majority of the movie. I decided at the last minute to come out and see this movie tonight because it seemed like it was going to be my last opportunity to see the movie in a theater. Tonight it was in the smallest auditorium here at Aspen Grove, and starting tomorrow it's relegated to those mid-afternoon time slots that are usually an indication that the movie's on its way out of theaters. And about those afternoon time slots, I always have these weird pangs of missing out. Whenever I see that the Alamo is having a one-time only screening or a special event, and it's scheduled for like 2:30 in the afternoon. I can't go out to the movies at 2:30 in the afternoon on a weekday because I have a day job. But you know what happens if enough of you fine people watching this video subscribe to the By Matthew Porter YouTube channel? You know what happens then? What happens then is I still have a day job, but you get to see Drafthouse Diaries and other videos of mine pop up on your subscription page in YouTube, and I get to know that you wonderful people are enjoying what I'm doing here. So we all get those warm, fuzzy feelings, and the world has just a little bit more happiness in it.
The By Matthew Porter YouTube channel is provided as is, and no warranty is made of fitness for any specific purpose. Warm, fuzzy feelings are not guaranteed. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Net increase in global happiness is one possible outcome, but not the sole possible outcome, or the most likely outcome, of subscribing to the By Matthew Porter YouTube channel.
Other parts of my trip to the Alamo. The pre-show was not at all surprising, but it was a lot of fun. It was custom, if not necessarily for this feature, definitely for recent Planet of the Apes features. It had music videos involving apes in some way, like Ape Man by the Kinks. There was a recurring section called Adverts of the Apes, which gave us TV commercials that featured apes, also a section parodies of the apes, and there were trailers for some of the classic Planet of the Apes movies, Beneath the Planet of the Apes and Escape from the Planet of the Apes, some of my favorite movies from that original series. So even though there wasn't anything surprising, it was a fun pre-show and it definitely got me in the mood to watch a Planet of the Apes movie. For dinner, I got the spicy HERissa Chicken Sandwich, which is part of the special features menu tied in with the FURIOSA movie. It wasn't particularly spicy. I don't think I've ever had anything here at the Alamo that I thought was really hot in terms of spice, but it was an interesting flavor. It had some spice to it, and I don't think I would be looking for it all the time, but as something on a limited time menu, it was a nice change. But speaking of those limited time menus, they are still not giving us paper menus or any other indication when we sit down to order that there are these additional things available. I only knew about it because I saw it previously in a promo after the pre-show at a prior visit to the Alamo. We shouldn't have to do that. Visit often enough and remember the promos from one visit to the next, and we shouldn't necessarily have to go hunting on the Alamo's website before we come to get dinner and a movie. There's got to be some alternative to that. If they don't want to put paper menus at the seats or on the tables, maybe they can put up posters so at least you see them going in and you know about these special items before you order, when you still have a chance to try them out. But my server tonight was really good. The theater was comfortable, even though Theater 1 here at Aspen Grove, it may seem a little bit cramped, the sight lines may be a little bit weird, but once a movie starts, none of that ever seems to bother me. I hope you enjoyed this Drafthouse Diary. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back soon with more, and in the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.